Good afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to our weekly success story show with the Global Trade Chamber and the Successful Women in Business Network around the world. And we do this show, first of all, obviously, to talk about how we're helping entrepreneurs in the US and around the world to start and grow successful businesses, and our network of women, how we can help them be better entrepreneurs and help other women in the process. So today we have a very special guest, Wendy. Wendy was one of our speakers at our conference in Tampa. She's amazing. She is a groundbreaker, trailblazer in helping people succeed in their businesses. And she's an amazing friend of our organization. And like I said, I'm Otero, the president, and we have with me the founder of the Successful Women Network. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, Al. How are you? And I'm very happy to actually come back to our series of successful story show that we're going to be doing now, our new season. And we're starting the new season with Wendy. We're very happy to have Wendy with us. And without further introduction about the show, let me say hi to Wendy. Hi.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Al. Hi, Maria. Thanks for having me today.
Amazing. So, Wendy, tell us more about your background so people can get familiar with you.
Sure. So I was born in Jamaica and came up as a young adult, went to college here, got into the technology field, been in the technology field for over 20 years, still in the technology field, and transitioned into project management because I saw that I wanted to kind of just help the organizations that I was working in to just deliver on whatever technology they wanted to release, maybe a new website or something like that. And as time had progressed, I felt the entrepreneurship bug hit me, and I decided, well, why not use the skills that I currently have, which is project management, and offer services through that. So my business is 3 years old, actually. We just celebrated our third anniversary. Time is just flying. I don't know where it went, but I'm very excited about that. I believe 2025 is going to be a great year. And look at this. I have the opportunity to speak with this wonderful network that is helping business owners across the world.
You're originally from Jamaica, Wendy?
Yes.
Wow. Whenever you drop by my office, don't forget to bring a bottle of white rum from Jamaica.
I'll remember.
That is my welcome gift everybody brings from all over.
Really? Rum?
White. I have a lot of rum, but I'm running out of the white, so it's important that I have a refill.
Wow, Al. It's like that? Okay.
But the Jamaican rum is very strong. He keeps asking for that and he's not going to drink it.
It is not easy, very Wendy. Strong.
It's not easy. It's part of my job description. It's my cultural contribution to business people around the globe, is tasting the rum.
Yeah. Okay.
So when did you grew up in the U.S. or when you moved from Jamaica to the U.S.?
I was around 1920. So I went to college here and onward. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. So another question I have about project management is, people talks about project management, but some people don't understand what the project management means and how you can actually help companies with this. If you can explain in general terms for us to digest the terms.
Right. So many of us are project managers without the title, right? And what a project is if you plan something, then you took some steps to execute on that plan, and then you delivered on what you originally planned. That entire thing is a project, and you overseeing the steps from beginning to end, from A to Z. That is project management.
So you can actually take a plan, let's say a business plan or marketing plan, and execute it.
Yeah, yeah. So it might be you want to create a marketing plan. So you would start off, well, what are my requirements, right? And you start working through that. Then you'll create some action steps on what are the information needed. How are you going to get that information, implement that information, and then you deliver at the end a marketing plan or just, key steps for you to now execute and start marketing your business more.
So
And
in the project management, you need to obviously follow the timeline. That I think is very important.
For sure. I mean, a successful project, some people say, well, it's delivered on time, delivered within budget, and delivered based on the scope. But the key to every project is that you should deliver value. Because if you deliver something on time, within budget, but no one wants it, no one's going to use it, then it's not valuable. And then you can't call that a success, right? So the key thing is whatever you're going to deliver, yes, deliver it on time that you wanted. If you can, right? A lot of things happen that we can't control, but try your best. And most importantly, deliver value, whether it's to your customer, for your business, or something on the personal end, deliver value.
And what software you use to manage the projects, or how you can control the project is going according to the plan?
Well, I've used quite a number of different project management tools. I've used very heavy tools such as Microsoft Projects or ServiceNow, or I've used as simple as Microsoft Office, meaning using Word and Excel and SharePoint and Microsoft Teams. A lot of people in their businesses and in organizations uses that whole Microsoft suite. And Google Suite is the same equivalent, where it has documents and spreadsheets and central place.
And Wendy, what is the typical service that your clients request more from you?
Training. We offer training, and our goal is to help teams. What we're doing is upskilling the teams so that they can lead projects themselves.
That's very good. So you can easily work for a corporation, do the training for the employees.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And important because everything in whatever you do, if you're an entrepreneur, you have a company, or you work for somebody, management is very important. But they don't pay attention to that.
For sure. And then, we realize that teams are getting smaller and smaller, leaner and leaner, so some folks cannot afford to hire on a project manager, but they still have all these different initiatives that they still need to take care of, right? So it's good to equip them with these skills so that management is aware of what's going on. They have visibility of what's going on. Decisions are being made quickly. Lines of communications are open, and, projects are delivered.
And do you specialize in any industries, Wendy, or pretty much anybody that's in business?
Well, in my career, I've worked across healthcare, automotive, aviation, and so on. Through my business, my focus is on small to medium organizations, work with healthcare. I've done speaking engagements with small business owners where we can just give them a small plan to, here are your next steps on maybe some initiatives that you have going on in your business.
It's like you go on a trip, you have the destination, but without a timeline and specific steps to get there, it might take you 10 times as long to get to where you want to go.
Exactly. And some people get stuck because they're like, I don't know what to do, or they're busy doing busy work, but not the right work to move it forward. Mm-hmm. And that's what I train the
element here. Like you said, the management requires two elements for me that are very important. Mm-hmm. Efficiency and effectiveness. So you need to be effective with what you do, but at the same time, you need to be efficient. And I think that's why it's important project management. Because if you are in the process controlling the effectiveness of the project, and at the same time you are accomplishing the goal by being efficient, so that's the successful that you're talking about, right, Wendy?
Exactly right. And what we're seeing though is that people are thrown into these roles to be efficient and to be delivering, right? But they never had any type of formal training. And so they can get flustered and frustrated based on that, right? So yes, my goal is to help them. Well, let's look at the plan holistically, and then let's start getting more granular and give you some action steps on how we can work through this project, get it moving, get it going.
Very
And
good.
go ahead, Maria.
No, I was thinking like, how come you decided to be independent and stop working for the corporate world and they say, I'm going to start my business and I want to help people? When was the moment that changed your life, basically, that you
The
decided
moment.
no more?
You know what?
Breakthrough.
I was listening to podcasts about finance and so on, and I'm realizing that the people that are coming on, that are being interviewed, they're talking about businesses and whatever they're doing. And I'm like, I don't have an entrepreneurial mindset. I don't want to own a business, nothing like that, right? But the more and more that I listened, I realized for me, just my 9 to 5 would not be it. If I had, financial goals that I wanted to make. And so I decided to do both, full-time working with someone as well as having my business on the side. And unfortunately, a company that I was working with, they started doing reorgs and they started doing layoffs and so on. And I took that opportunity to be like, this is the moment where I'm just going to go full blown into the business and put all my focus on the business. And it's been like that ever since.
That's awesome. That's a big decision.
Yeah.
In every career or success story, there's speed bumps
Of
that
course.
kind of shake you, and you got to get yourself back up. Tell us one of your speed bumps.
One of my speed bumps. Oh my gosh. One of my speed bumps in career, it was burnout, right? Sometimes it's a double-edged sword when you do very well at your work. You tend to get more work,
Yes.
right?
Looking efficient.
Yes. And though I was able to do the work, I did not realize that I was slowly getting burnt out. And how I began to recognize that is that I no longer had interest in anything. And I'm the type of person, I always want to learn. However, I'm going to learn, whether it's a podcast, I'm going to do a training, online train, whatever it is, I'm always going to try and learn something. I had zero interest in anything, like just glue me to the couch in front of the TV, and that was me, right? And eventually, like as I recognized that, no, I am burning out. This cannot continue. So I had to shift how I was thinking and determined, all right, I must be going through this for something bigger in my future, right? And once I shifted that mindset, I'm like, all right, so something bigger is happening. I'm going to give myself maybe one more year where I was, and then I'll make my next step. And, I was really blessed that before that 1 year came, an opportunity landed in my lap. Right.
Wow.
And I jumped at it, and it was the best thing that I did. So that was one of my speed bumps that I could share.
I
That's
noticed
good.
that more and more people, especially women, are taking that step. Like, I want to stop working for a corporation or company or whatever, and I'm going to start doing my own thing. I always wanted to do this, and then you jump and you make the decision. I think I noticed that these decisions are made by women more than men. Like,
Okay.
I'm ready to do it, and I'm going to face the challenges to do it. And like you said, in the majority of the cases, I realize that it's because people is getting tired of what they do every day, and they don't enjoy anymore.
Yeah.
So they eventually want to have that freedom.
Mhm.
But at the same time, if you think about this, Wendy, you are not free because now you are a slave of your own company. You have to work 24/7, but at least you make the decisions, right?
Exactly. And it's freedom with an asterisk, right? I never ever say freedom per se. It's more of flexibility, right? More flexibility as in, well, it's not a 40-hour per week where you clock in, clock out kind of thing when it comes to a business. And it's things that you want to do because that's what you created your business for, not what somebody else wants to do. So even if you are working for a client and you have a moment where you're just heads down with whatever you're doing for the client, it's not your constant. And it is you are heads down doing the thing that you are offering, that you are serving to your customer. And if you keep that mindset that, well, I'm giving value, bringing value to this customer, that becomes more fulfilling versus you're at work just doing the things you're not loving and you're being burnt out. Yeah.
Yeah. And also something that is very important that perhaps when you can deliver more information about that is the schedule and the discipline. Because the problem when you stop working for a company and you decide to start your own business, you need to have the mindset of, time management and the discipline. Because like you said, you have more flexibility. So then you say, oh yeah, I'll do this later, or I'll do this tomorrow. Oh, I have time. It's my own time, so I can decide. But then in the process, you get stuck because you are not managing properly your time. And you need to have that balance, even for, physical activity or self-education and things like that. So tell us how you manage your day, how you manage your agenda, and how you can balance your personal life with what now is your company.
Balance. Yeah, balance is a fun word, right? I have to put an asterisk beside that one as well. So I approach my business just like you would approach a job. I sit at my desk and I dress as if I'm going into the office, right? I clock in mentally, right, at whatever time I've decided, which is generally 8:30. I write down my to-do list, like this, these are the things that I want to accomplish today, right? And what helps me is also of this to-do list, these are the three main items that, try to do these three, because they're key, they're not just busy work. Three main items for the day. And that helps me to keep things moving because on these, when I don't do that, I find I'm like, all right, I know I have so much to do. What am I going to do today? And I will find the easiest thing to do. Maybe it's just clean up my inbox or just simple things that aren't income producing activities, right? And as business owners, we need to be doing those activities that drives business, drive the projects we're doing for our clients, right? Those things. So my to-do list is what I work on every day. And I'm still trying to figure out the balancing with family because sometimes you're just heads down, just working. So I have to actively peel myself away from the computer.
How many projects you recommend people to manage every day? And when I say projects, not just for a business or if you are a business consultant, but in general, like how many things you can handle per day without being overwhelmed?
Without being overwhelmed. Well, I would say start thinking about, all right, what are some goals that you may have, right? And classify them. Are they big goals? Are they medium goals? Are they small goals? And try to focus on, let's try to do one goal at a time. That might feel slower, but the thing is you want to build a muscle of doing the steps that you're trying to do to get to your goal. And once you start figuring that, oh, now look on another goal that you want to do, break that out into smaller steps and start doing those as well. Now, once you start feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm all over the place, then reassess. Every so often, you need to reassess. What am I working on? What is important? What must be done right now? What can be done later? What should I just not do? right? There are a lot of things out there that just take up a lot of time on our calendar. We don't have to go to every event that is out there. It needs to serve us. We don't need to take every call. It has to serve us, right? So guard your calendar, right? But make sure that you are productive in what you're doing.
Are you listening out? We need to reassess everything because we're overwhelmed.
I mean, it's
Yeah, then
always
you
good
have
to do, maybe quarterly, right?
maybe every 4 hours.
Or every 4 hours, according to Al.
Yes. So you should leave walking the dog till after you finish your shift. Because people work from home. They start, oh, let me get a salad, let me walk the dog, and they don't focus. It's hard at home, especially if they have
Yes.
kids.
So if, you have to know what makes sense for you. If you cannot work from home, then you need to figure out where else can you work that will keep you productive. I can work from home. That's not a problem for me. But initially, it was hard to focus, hard to concentrate. And what I originally did was I went to the library, right? I knew I didn't have to take calls. So I went to the library. It's quiet. And I sat there. And if I had to knock out a couple of things, I was just focused that way, right? So, sometimes you have to change up your environment. If you see the couch and you know that's your biggest problem, you got to leave the house, go somewhere else, find a co-working space, call Al, hang out with Al, something.
Yes.
If you have children, leave the children.
Something.
Yeah. If you have a mother, send your mother somewhere. Find her a boyfriend.
Somewhere, but you have to, or maybe you set up something outside on the patio. I don't know, but any which ways, you have to change your environment if your environment where you are is a distraction for you.
But more and more people is working from home.
More
Uh,
and
Yeah,
more
I
and
mean,
more.
sometimes I'm just talking, even the neighbors here, like, you can reach me anytime. I work from home. I'm like, okay, wow. So that's becoming like the new way to do business now. And even large corporations, like, I don't remember if it was New York Lives, but I met somebody from one of these companies. And she says, I have an office, but they don't force me to go. So as long as I go once a week, they are fine and I can actually work from home. And more and more large corporations are doing that. Like they are not enforcing, the fact that you have to go every day. Maybe because they are also noticing that after the pandemic, things change forever. So now you know that you can work from home. You can actually be effective and productive from home. You don't have to go every day.
However, there are some, so it's a mix, right? There are some companies, some organizations that are saying, well, you must come in, maybe not 5 days, but 3 days a week and 2 days remote, right? And they're trying to accommodate some of that balance. Rarely are you finding, well, for business owners, yes, they can work remotely, but for employees, some are finding less opportunities to work 100% remote unless they're in Florida, but the company that they're working for is in another state.
Yeah. No, sometimes it's funny because when you call, somebody's answering the call with a dog barking or a baby crying, and you think that you're calling the corporation, right? That you are, but these people is working out from home. Or you think that you're calling somebody that works in the US, but actually you're calling outside. So somebody from India, from other countries is answering the call. So it's becoming very popular to do that. Like every time I call to the telephone company, I'm not going to say which one. I don't want to get in trouble. But it's like they send me to another country and I'm trying to deal customer service with somebody that is reading a manual and they don't know how to help me. So when I try to escalate the situation, they don't know how, they don't know who to transfer because they are being trained for specific things and they cannot troubleshoot.
Right. I mean, a lot of companies use their customer service.
And now it's getting worse, right? With the AI. The other day, Wendy, we had this webinar. The theme of the webinar was about artificial intelligence and how we can implement the AI in the business. And it's a little bit scary because it's like too much technology and you don't really know how to handle all this technology. But at the same time, the fact that you are interacting less and less with humans and
Yes.
you're actually talking more and more with machines is a little bit concerning because we're losing the human touch.
The human element for sure. And for those that consider themselves introverts, and shy to speak to others, may become more dependent. So, I mean, there are positives and negatives with so many things out there, including AI. I would tell folks to still encourage them to still learn about AI and get themselves knowledgeable about it and at least use it, know how to use it. It's as if when the cell phones came, right? Some people did not want to touch that, but now it's become our norm. AI will become our new normal. And yes, there are pros and cons, and there are always going to be people out there that will use a simple tool to make for malicious purposes. But nonetheless, it's better that you get yourself educated about it versus, oh, I don't know anything about
Oh,
AI,
yeah, absolutely.
doing anything like that. That will not help any.
Time flies, Wendy. Give us 3 tips on how people can succeed and to be more efficient with managing a project or a
Sure.
company in general.
Oh, of course, of course. So tip number 1, definitely when you're planning, have a goal, have know your why as to why you're doing that project, right? That will become your goalpost as you're creating your tasks, the things that you need to actively do. It will keep you focused, right? Second, open the lines of communication. If you're not communicating on the status of what's going on in your project, people are going to think worst case scenario. Always communicate, clear and consistent, and do it on a regular cadence. Meet with your clients on a weekly basis or every 2 weeks. Let them know what's happening, so that you can get decisions, you can talk about issues that are happening and keep it moving like that. So those are the tips that I have for everyone as they're doing their projects: is plan according to the business objectives that you're trying to reach and keep lines of communication open.
Excellent. Wendy, you need to come back and be a speaker at our annual convention in November in Miami.
Yeah.
It's international.
In November. All right.
Yes, we're bringing ladies from around the world. We're going to do the awards banquet, and we're going to have expo. So 2-day extravaganza, but we need people like you that are going to change people's lives, literally. Your tips alone will take some lady that's working out of her kitchen with the kids screaming in the back, and she will have enough information from you to really reorganize herself and succeed. Because of you, you're a life changer. That's your new title. You're a life changer.
We're going
I'm here to give value. What was that?
Oh, yeah, we definitely going to nominate you to receive an award with the other 99 ladies. It's 100 ladies from around the world every year.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Sounds
and
wonderful.
It's global. So you being from another country and giving me a bottle of rum would definitely secure your spot as a winner. No bribery here, just motivation.
No, wink, wink. That's wonderful.
Welcome to our family, Wendy. You're awesome. You have so much to share with people.
Of course. My goal is to just give people value and to equip them so that they can take steps on their own.
Excellent. Well, Maria, let's say goodbye to our friends.
Sorry, what?
Say goodbye to everybody.
Oh, yes, I was listening to you. I was taking notes actually of the tips that Wendy shared with us. But yes, please remember, if you want to learn more about how Wendy Smith can help you with your business, coaching in terms of project management, time management, or any other, I will say, tool related with your business, she can actually help you. As you can see, she's very qualified. And she's the right person for you to learn how to manage better your company, your time, and in general, all the projects that you're trying to implement. So call Wendy, get more information. We're going to be sharing her contact information on the screen. So you can reach out Wendy, ask questions, and I'm sure she's going to be there to help you. But if you want to also meet Wendy in person, you heard the official invitation. It's November 5 and 6 in Miami. We're going to have a 2-day convention celebrating and recognizing successful women around the world for 2 days, plus conferences, plus business expo, plus networking, and much more. So please get the information also on the screen. Attendance is for free, so you can go and meet everybody, all the speakers that we're going to have for that day. Again, thank you so much. This was the Success Stories Show. We're going to have much more to come next week. Thank you, Wendy, again. And for sure, we're going to see you in November.
Of course. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, Wendy.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Of
Bye.
course.